address for some.
What's up, everybody? Crypto Coffee here with Funding Jim. We're live at the Rebel Capitalist Conference, and it's been a trip. Identity Block, what's up? Piston Bro, good to see you. Versology, Rand. We're gonna try this format out, and hopefully you can hear us okay. We're still down here. That's what she said. Nice, nice, real mature.
So let's before we let you know that I have about an hour, but Coffee's here all night. I think he's got jokes for night all day.
Yep.
He can throw out there. So I'm here for about an hour, then I'm going to ditch out, and let's make sure that the sound is really great, everything's good, and it's an excellent conference so far. I think that we're doing really well with our networking skills and some of the things, not just introduction and glad handing where you just are not memorable in the crowd. I got invited to a special dinner tonight, so that's pretty cool.
Gary's better at flirting with guys than I am, so he weaseled his way into a very high level.
I'm pretty good at flirting with girls too.
Okay, I'll give you that one too. But so you got in with basically George and Kiyosaki, and tell me about that.
Yeah, so I started following George in 2018. As far as offline stuff, because in 2014 and 15 I was bringing people from Silicon Valley to Medellin, Colombia, and I knew that he was a player in the real estate space when it came to that, and I had different associates that were kind of his competitor in Medellin as far as real estate. So I knew about him, but I hadn't met him until 2018, and then didn't spend a ton of time in 2018. But in 2019, basically the same time that the AA was going on for Hex, he would do live streams and talk about macroeconomics, not just the real estate channel. He had a television channel in Colombia, right. And he would comment like a HGTV about remodeling and flipping and finding good deals and things like that on a real estate kind of environment television show.
How many followers do they have? They're pretty big, right?
Well, they were big in the real estate interest, people interested in real estate, even people migrating from the States to invest into Colombia, right? So Medellin had this market, and he was a known investor, serial entrepreneur, multiple different businesses and diversification, not really a one note kind of guy, right?
Yep.
And then in 2019, when the AA was launched, right at the end of December and into the beginning of 20, his streams would be right after the hexologist streams, right?
Yep.
So the rollover would happen. I watched the hexologist. I would finish my cardiology kind of work, last patient, watch hexologist as you saw the pump, the AA methods. And then immediately after that, George would often be streaming like 3 days a week.
Yep.
So I think I was like subscriber 300 or 500 or something, and now he's like 350,000 or 400,000 followers.
So you were there from the very beginning of George.
As far as his macro platform,
okay,
macroeconomic stuff. Yeah,
and that's what this conference is kind of all about. It's called Rebel Capitalist 2021. We're in Miami, just in the hotel room, away from all the crowds and everything, but it's not really crypto guys only. It's a mixture of people that are entrepreneurs in real estate, or just traders, a lot of traders here, and really traditional finance kind of guys, but they're really set on, personal financial freedom and how do you, cope with a world that's changing, so drastically. Power is becoming decentralized, and it's a kind of a different way that we're going to have to start living. So it's kind of a, bunch of lifestyle guys here talking about their approaches to the markets, how they see, what part of the cycles that we're in. I learned a good amount, but it's also just great for networking too. Met a Hexican, Joel. Two. One of them might be watching right now. Joel, if you're watching, what's up? He's probably downstairs. That was awesome, and we really are everywhere.
Tell how that happened organically. I mean, Joel first saw me in the elevator area and said, "Funding Jim," and I was like, "What? Like, how do you know me or whatever?" Right?
Yeah.
And then he said he was he's in Hex. He knew me from Hex. I was like, "Oh, Crypto Coffee's here too." He's like, "Crypto Coffee, oh, fan, big fan, Crypto Coffee."
Yeah, I had my first fan ever that I met. cool guy. You know, I think there's like always this level of you meet someone and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe they're a real person. They're here, but you know, it wears off. But that was cool. And then I was talking to a CPA for a while.
For like 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah. He's, you know, well versed in the whole traditional system, but he, at the very end of the convo, we were talking about crypto.
He didn't talk about crypto at all until that point. He's a real estate guy,
right.
CPA for other people as a firm.
Right.
No mention of crypto. I don't think I ever mentioned, other than saying your first name, anything about crypto at all.
Yeah.
And you were talking on your own for 30 minutes, and then what happened?
Yeah. So then at the very end, you know, we briefly mentioned crypto. I think either he brought it up or I did. And whips out his staker app, shows me a 1 year, 2 year, and 15-year stake, and says, "Oh, you're in Hex? Like, no way! I just got into that 2 weeks ago." You know, and I was mind blown because I was like, first of all, great timing, like good for you, but just the fact that we are all over the place, and you know,
yeah.
That guy is not even a crypto guy. He just saw, you know, he got attracted by the Harvey Dent
Harry Dent's interview with
Richard Hart, who I think you set that up, right?
Yeah.
So that stuff, you know, it goes a long way, and all that overlap of communities is really what is great for promoting Hex and just bringing it to a larger scale of people. That's what we're here trying to, you know, organize. Maybe potential interview with Kiyosaki or one of these really big names. So
yeah,
just doing whatever we can, and you know, trying to expose ourselves to opportunities. But yeah, if you guys have any questions in the chat, this is kind of just an AMA, pretty much open conversation. A little bit of a different style today. What's up, D-Raj? I see you in there. Sandy, Daniel, and Bran. Bran never misses a stream.
Yeah.
And I got a new one today. I look like the lead singer of Green Day. We were just talking about all the lookalikes. So yeah, you've got this dinner. Should be awesome.
So the names in the room, a lot of people inside of our crypto group, especially Hex, they may not be publicly announcing that they're in real estate, but they are also in Hex. They're kind of, you know, behind a screen name. So there's thousands of hexagons, right, that we see all the time in chat, and some of them will know the names I'm going to mention. George Gammon obviously has his YouTube channel. I know that Kinetics talks about it, and he's been following for some time. I think I turned into George's content as well. But Robert Kiyosaki is famous for about 25 years. In 1996 or something like that is when he wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that book became very popular. It's written or published in over 100 languages around the world. And his story of being a Marine, he was in the Marine Corps as a youth, went to Vietnam. He was a pilot, a Marine Corps pilot, and his discipline and so forth. When he got out of the service, he thought about, I need to make money, not just follow the poor dad mentality, which is academic and PhD will get you through life, which may work in certain sectors.
If you want to be part of that system, you know, that's academia. There's a place for you. But he was the first guy that opened my eyes up to the concept of debt as a tool.
Yeah,
I always thought of debt as a very you don't want to be in debt. It's always a bad thing, but it's actually not that cut and dry.
Yeah.
You can use debt to finance real estate and these complicated methods. You know, you're more of a professional in that. But yeah, that opened my eyes. So he's a good guy to know. Far Out Aliens wants to know if we're in Puerto Rico or stateside. We are stateside, Miami, Florida.
So he was, his narrative is, you know, whenever you go to get money from a bank and you say, I want to buy a car, I want to buy a house, I want to do something like finance my education or something like that and become really a capitalist, they never ask you for your high school diploma. They ask you for your financial statement. They want to know what assets you have as collateral, potentially. They want to know how you have trended your financial discipline, what histories you've done in the past, and why would they trust you with money, right? So that narrative has been very helpful, and that's what brought a lot of these people together. George, really the center point. Robert Kiyosaki, a long-standing legacy financial education kind of guy. Friends with Donald Trump, whether people love that or not, but friends with Donald Trump. First became popular because of being on Oprah Winfrey shows and things like that.
Huge.
So huge guy. And an interesting thing is that he recently, in the past year or two, he had some health issues. He was a bit overweight. People know what he used to look like too, and now he is much leaner. He's a skinny guy now.
Yeah,
but that's because he's been interested in longevity research and stem cell technology. And he actually, one of his personal cardiologist has a wife that's also a physician in regenerative medicine. And so Coffee actually made the introduction, I think, the first time because she was the one that had the purse, the Prada purse with the heart on it, right? In the elevator. And we kept crossing this person over and over. And later in the conversation, I think I walked into your bubble where you were talking, and she said something about regenerative medicine.
Yeah. So it's a hot topic among all. I mean, a lot of these super rich are starting to look into that, and it's a great lead into PulseChain as well. So it's with everything Richard just said about being able to donate, you can actually donate money directly to the Sense Foundation. And if you're going to make that donation anyway, and you've got all these wealthy individuals that are highly interested in longevity and, if not living forever, at least extending the good years of their life as long as they can. You've got all these people that would probably want to donate to this cause either way. So why not get a couple of free tokens out of it? Maybe it'll, go to the moon and everyone's going to get even more rich, So it just seems like a win-win. It's a tax write-off, right? It goes to a great cause. And just this method of being able to donate via Send, I think unlocks a lot of capital from other interests. You don't have to be a crypto person at all. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they do have like Mark Moss talked about decentralized finance during the seminar this weekend. And he's a known space. It's been mostly Ethereum as his commentary, but brand and marketing guy. Kiyosaki talks often about Bitcoin because that's the current cryptocurrency he was introduced, the longest and the longest brand and popularity, I guess, as far as a name. But I think what's interesting is they already start businesses that throw off cash that go directly to 503Cs right now. So they fund their charitable donations by setting up businesses or cash flow, and then they get that right off and roll it over and over and over. So they do very interesting win-win-win situations. And I think that, again, if I play the cards right tonight, I should be able to get a conversation directly between Robert Kiyosaki and George Gammon, Jason Hartman, who's very popular also in the real estate space.
He's a cool guy.
To potentially donate to Sends and potentially participate in Pulse because they're sending to a specific address that Aubrey sets up. I think that's the narrative I'm going to go with tonight.
Yeah, I mean, good luck, and that's super exciting, guys. Huge things happening. This is all the stuff just behind the scenes that you might not really see day to day, but Gary's out here networking, and these are some people with serious money. So it's, I mean, maybe, if nothing else, it's just awareness. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, very cool. You guys got any questions about stuff?
They like Rich Dad Poor Dad. They want Richard Hart on the Rich Dad radio show.
Yeah,
of course we all do.
I was saying earlier, before, so the first night that we were here was just a glad handing check-in. That was a Friday night.
Yeah.
And then Saturday was a lot of speakers, very good speakers, excellent to start our networking. And then this morning, the first speaker at 8 a.m. was Robert Kiyosaki. And for some strange reason, I didn't want to wake up right at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I missed that one. I was just a little.
I was like, I want to go, but I'm a little. And I was crashed. I was like, it's 8 o'clock, right? But I forced myself to get up and get dressed and look appropriate after 3 hours of sleep or whatever it was.
Yeah. Well, I think part of the whole thing of these events is it's not so much about the speakers. I mean, they're great talks. But you can watch a Kiyosaki YouTube video.
Yeah.
It's all about getting to meet them, face to face, and other interesting people.
Yeah. So I didn't come for the content they were going to share in their little 1 hour presentations. What I came for was these cards that I produced. I made them all special, individual branded for the speakers. So each speaker got specialized cards that you guys are familiar with.
That was cool.
And then that was an in to have conversations that were validated by others. So I start with one guy and then say, Jason got his and George got theirs and this one is yours.
Right.
It just makes more credibility in general.
Yeah, so Gary put together these these business cards basically that are fully customized with QR codes that link to all of the speakers' socials and everything. And it's a great lead-in for networking because you have something to give them. Everybody wants free stuff, and not only is it a cool free thing, but it's not really gimmicky. You can actually use it, and you can actually scan it, and it shows up with a profile of their face, and everyone loves seeing their own face. So, they all loved it. I don't think nobody was like, no, fuck off.
Yeah, Jason was actually using it, which again, Jason runs a money show podcast, very popular, multi-million follower kind of brand.
Yep.
You saw some of the celebrities in his history as far as people he's helped with different real estate stuff. So a lot of celebrity people look toward his advice.
Yep.
And he was using it today, basically in his networking with other people. So he was pulling out the card I made.
Yeah.
To get them to scan the QR so they could follow him on Twitter.
So he was already using it. That's badass. That's
really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
No, Timothy, I did not meet Billy Joe. Someone said I look like him. Walter, how to keep that money now that we made money? No financial advice, but is real estate or Airbnb an option? It is. It depends where you live. For Airbnb, I tried in Chicago, and it's not a very Airbnb friendly city. I realized the hard way. So I think Miami would be probably very open. It's a lot of high rises, probably very much more real estate friendly.
Well, if you look at again, to stay out of the politics, just look at the land loan owner or the property owner's rights, and look at the tenant's rights, what the rights are. And different areas, different states have different laws about who should be protected. So just look at that if you're going to do it, whether it's Airbnb and allowed, or a short-term tenant, or whether it's long-term.
Mm-hmm.
But some of like I said, the seminar is partly about real estate. But what I also learned that's also useful is charitable events, how you can throw off cash, how basically every time that Robert Kiyosaki makes $1 million, he throws it back into real estate that is 5 times as valuable. So $1 million turns into $5 million worth of an asset purchase, because he gets a bank deal, 20% down. He gets an asset that's worth $5 million that throws off cash, right? Because it's cash flow management, and then he constantly does that cycle. So his teachings are about financial savvy are very useful for people, whether you come into wealth because of HEX or you will in the near future, because the strategies are really the way that the United States is built as far as the organization and structure of it is to depreciate over 27 years the real estate that you bought, to basically lever up and put other people's money at risk, which is a bank, right? They can foreclose if you don't make payment, but who is making the payment? Your tenants, right? So there's a lot of structure you can do. How do you get $1 million? I'm not saying that you need to sell your HEX, but if you used your HEX to access real estate in a proper manner, not paying it off cash, but in a proper manner, get it in title, get control of it, you can exit money back out the same or more. So that's what his funnel is. Basically, he'll put it in, he'll get 5 times the leverage as far as the value of the asset, and then he'll depreciate it over the next 27 years off of the tax throw off cash, and then he returns to the original $1 million plus. So he gets it back within a few months. So it's just a process of flip the same money. And because he takes the money out in a refinance, so the entire property refinanced at better terms, when you take that cash out, it's not taxable because it is debt. You've taken a loan for 80% of its value or 90% of its value, and you use that money for your lifestyle. Right? So you effectively never pay taxes, ever. So the structures you can learn, a lot of people, they don't have that snowball rolling yet. They don't have a capital really put together. If you find yourself in HEX, I'm not saying sell HEX. I am saying you can find a time in the future where maybe a stake comes out, you have that interest comes out, you restake for longer so that you keep your T-share rate, right? But with that cash, are you going to spend it on a fancy car immediately? No, you should probably buy something that throws off dollar cash that pays for the lifestyle you want. So Robert has Lear jets. He has Ferraris and Bentleys and all these things like that. That effectively his business has paid for through just being smart about how the money flows. And I think that's really good.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's what a lot of us are probably gonna have to start thinking about. Putting again, it goes back to what Hex actually is, which is a cash producing, income producing asset, right?
Yep.
So you want assets to benefit you in one way or another, not hanging on to depreciating assets or just things that are just wasteful.
Yeah. Buy the assets that pay for the lifestyle you want. Not buy the.
Right.
We looked at Ferraris and things like that yesterday, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty baller. This is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'll eat ramen a little bit longer and buy another piece of something and throw it more into Hex or Pulse or participate in SAC. Yeah.
We were window shopping in the Ferrari dealership, and after finding out the price tags, I was like, it's not worth selling my Hex. I'm just going to go to Checkers across the street, get a $2 cheeseburger.
Terrible cheeseburgers, but we
not great.
Through it. We're like, so that's the difference.
Yeah.
A box lunch could have been $27.
Yep.
Or Checkers was $2.
There you go, guys.
That gives you $25 to put into Hex.
That's your financial planning advice right there. Eat Checkers every day and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Extremely sound advice. Cool.
That's why taxing the rich is pointless.
Yeah. Damn, that's smart. Thanks, Gary. Better advice than my real estate guy. Yeah.
So one of the guys who I'm going to dinner with tonight, his name is Ken McElroy. He handles a lot of the real estate deals. He finds the deals like 500 unit apartment buildings and things like that for the rich dad people. Apparently our audio is just going through the computer, so the whole mic is not necessary. Oh, is it? So the mic is off. So
the mic is off.
It's still playing.
Yeah.
So, but he has personally $1 billion in real estate in his own portfolio.
Okay.
So again, the nature of people that they're often looking for tax reasons.
Right.
That they're funneling, and it's not that they're evading taxes.
Right.
They're simply choosing where their tax money goes. Okay, if you get it taxed by the state of California, by New York, by Illinois, Florida, and federal tax, those entities decide where your money goes.
Yep.
Okay. If you donate to something like the Sins Foundation, you decide where that money goes. That's the difference. That's why they look for these things. They're like, I'm going to pay tax anyway.
Right.
I might as well structure it and funnel it to causes I care about. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're just talking. Yeah, the whole microphone was just for show, guys. I rug pulled us on the mic.
Oh man, I thought it was gonna be karaoke.
I mean, we could pretend that we're more professional than we really
did
are.
Another video last night, but I think somehow
I didn't save it.
Lost in delirium or something.
Yeah,
what's going on?
I wish I saved that now.
That's good.
Or maybe it was just we thought it was good.
I'm sober. I know it was good. It was great.
Yeah, it's a prop. It's just a prop, guys. This right here just makes you look smart. What happened? DeFi Dior says, because what happened is the tax burden will trickle down to the lower tax brackets that don't know the tricks. Yeah, so I mean that's a political argument, I guess.
So the one thing I would say to that is when people use the word trick, I'm cautious about saying that because the structure is the structure. The laws are the laws. There's reasons that there's professions like CPA. There's a reason for that. And people that have means pay for professionals to do the things that they don't know themselves. That's the difference. You can go and decide to be a cardiologist. You can go through 14 years of school, go through all the training, but still you probably shouldn't do your own heart surgery, right?
Yeah.
Even though you know what you're doing, you probably shouldn't do it for yourself, right? So there's people that are CPAs, big firms, that don't do their own tax. They will write it, or they will review it, but you don't see. You're naturally biased.
Yep.
You believe what you believe because you believe what you believe. But someone else can look at it and say, no, here's the fact. Right. Richard does this all the time.
Yeah.
You believe that market cap matters.
Yeah. People can look at the same facts and achieve different conclusions. And yeah, the whole market cap thing. We had that talk in a Telegram chat the other day. Just a new guy coming into the chat for the first time. With a concern about the market cap. And, we've done the explanation so many times, but yeah, I mean, there's never as much liquid supply than there is supply in existence,
Mhm.
right? And that's in everything. Real estate, there's always going to be more supply of houses than there are houses actually for sale, and much, much more. So the whole idea of market cap as a vanity metric, you can't really trade, or you shouldn't really be trading market cap other than maybe a metric as like maybe a growth metric for the industry as a whole, but it's not really too important in my opinion.
That and volume, the narrative of volume, right?
Oh yeah.
Does
volume.
it affect the price of your house because 20% of all houses sold this month, or 3%? Not really.
Not
It's
really.
still a comp issue.
You're part of that statistic.
Yeah,
So-
you're not trading volume.
Yeah.
You're trading market cap.
Yeah.
Richard highlights that. Most of the narrative of crypto would just look at that list that's on one website that gatekeeps Etherscan truth. So
Yeah. Let's see. We did have a Bitcoin Maxi talk today. Breed Love.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either. That one was easy to miss.
But I did cards for them. Maybe there'll be a turn one day, but yeah, and when they're really kind of locked into just one belief narrative, it is like talking religion or trying to convert religion on people.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy. This Breed Love guy. We met him, talked to him, and people are just chilling their bags, right? So he's probably got a big bag, and he's obviously Bitcoin. Kind of, it's important for the industry as a whole, but I didn't think there was much point in trying to convert a Maxi. You know what I mean? A well-known, cool guy though.
Yeah. Ken was optimistic. He's at the bottom. I saw what is Ken McElroy saying about the real estate market. Money has to go somewhere. It gets printed into existence. If you hold control of an asset, you're in the better position than if you don't. So inflation, the narrative of inflation, there will be inflation. It's undeniable.
Yep.
But how are you going to position yourself before that? You should probably get into something like HEX, cryptocurrencies, things that overperform for the risk profile.
Yeah.
Right?
All this money has to flow somewhere, and that goes for crypto too, right? It's got to go into these various assets, different asset classes, and that's why we are in the everything bubble. It's just a cash. Everyone's flush with cash. And the capital class is really the class you want to be in. So you want to position yourself. If you're not a real estate guy, you're obviously all crypto people. Starting with that seems like a great, that was my launch pad essentially. And now, we can explore, other assets over time. But HEX is definitely something that's going to be around for, 15 years or more. And so it really makes me feel a little more secure about the future going forward. Because it is the everything bubble, right? Not just real estate.
Well, again, HEX is overperforming, performs amazingly, and maybe that takes some anxiety off of your mind. So, look, I'm in this thing, it's doing great, I watch the charts and so forth, right? Does that mean that you only, everybody may not choose to, I won't choose to for many more years, but say, look, okay, now I've made the money, where's the hammock and the palm tree, and let me just sail off into the sunset. Bored, right? So
that's the problem with quote unquote retiring. It's you never really retire. Like I'm always going to be doing something. I feel like. Yeah. So
why not learn the money ladder? Why not learn the real estate game?
Yeah.
Is there demand for a roof over someone's head? Yeah. So somebody needs to supply it. Is there a margin? Yeah. Do you have to swing the hammer? No.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of things you can do if it's interesting to you. Learn how to be a videographer, learn how to build something tech, learn how to build your interpersonal skills so that you can become a VC.
Yeah.
Right?
We're all gonna have to start thinking about that eventually.
Right.
You're almost gonna treat your personal finances as if you're doing venture capital for yourself, basically.
You want a flat chopper? That's the matrix.
Fly a chopper, that'd be pretty badass. That takes a while, doesn't it? You gotta.
I don't know how many hours it's flight school. You have to go through flight school, didactic or book work, and then
you ever done
that? No, I never took it. I didn't have the wherewithal. I'd rather pay my friend to fly me around.
Yeah. Hey, well, one day we might all own choppers, so we should probably learn how to fly them. Same asset rich, not much cash. Should I diversify more into cash, even though inflation is an issue? I like cash. I like having some cash all the time, just safety net, you know,
Yeah.
where the internet goes
6
down.
months of your living expense and a buffer, you know, so that you have time to pivot into another thing.
Yep.
One of the things that I teach, but I'm cautious about, like, I don't ever pursue anything. There's no one inside of Hex that they see my link that says Funding Gym, but I'm just basically trying to prove my identity and my realness, and people look me up and shit like that mostly, as far as Hex and crypto people.
Yeah.
Because you guys are very identity and very cautious. I am reasonably too. But what I'm getting at is I build people's personal and business credit, whether they ever use it or not.
Yep.
So they just always have the tool in the bag. And so you say something which makes sense as long as you don't screw up your credit to have cash reserves, right? However, there's people that have millions of dollars worth of credit card access that never use it.
Yeah.
So do you need to have 50 grand in cash? Yes, because of the grid goes down, the internet goes down, and I need 6 months to survive.
Yeah.
But honestly, we didn't see that in COVID lockdown. I didn't see people that were taking out gold and silver coins to pay for their groceries because there just was no toilet paper in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. It's more about the supply chain itself getting
I
disrupted.
mean, credit card processors worked, cash worked, but there was no supply. So the issue you think of as this is a disruptive black swan, things are going to get fucked up in the world narrative.
Well, that's the definition of a black swan, is they're inherently unpredictable.
Yeah.
So it's like, no matter how much you can prep and everything, you can hold cash, you can hoard everything. Some things you just can't prep for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some things are just going to come up. I mean, the pandemic was a good example. But yeah, how to insulate yourself in those things, it's tough because they affect everybody, right? And then nobody can see them coming.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to tell Kareem that he better have a helipad on his boat. Okay, I'll tell him. Going to fly us around in his Citation Mustang.
Nice.
All right. Wow. We should also.
My friend has a Mooney. I think it's a 4-seat Mooney. It's a nice prop plane. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm not even familiar with those, but that'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun rich person hobby.
Yeah,
just fly around. Toilet paper, great store value. Yes.
So Robert flew his staff of about 10 people came with him and his wife, 4 different staff people that deal with international licensing and book and brand.
Yeah,
they came as well.
Yeah.
And he flew them on Learjet from Scottsdale to here, Miami.
Wow.
When it's not actively being used by him or his staff, then it's chartered out, right?
Yeah.
It's charter service. And basically it's completely a write-off as far as the cost, but it's thrown, and he also has like no liability. So if he harms somebody in some way, a car wreck, fender bender, something like that, he can't be sued.
Yep.
So you just need to learn those things when you actually come into having assets worthwhile to protect.
Yeah, true. Very true. We should all chip in and buy Joma League Island. It's not for sale. Nah, I don't know about an island. It's a good business idea though. You could rent out an island, or
you can squat on an island. You ever see those portfolios that say, "Look, you can buy an island." You see like 6 islands in the horizon. You see that there's no runway, there's no strip, there's no house, there's no nothing, and they're like $30 million. Let's say this island. I'd be like, how about I just like squat on that island? It's kind of like Castaway until I get discovered.
Yeah,
like
who's gonna come after me?
Like drop my $100,000 like container from an airplane, super nice little, island cabana.
Jeez, man. Yeah.
Just be a squatter. You're like, I'm a squatter. Come make me leave. They're gonna send the Navy after you. What are they gonna do? Kick you off?
Who's the guy with the island? Larry Ellison.
Yeah.
That was something that what's his face? Simon's guy, Aubrey.
Yeah.
The Gray said he's basically talking about Richard. He's like, don't be a Larry Ellison and squander all this. And I'm like, or he's like, don't fuck it up, Richard.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just an example of, I guess, wasted money.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's cool. Maybe it'd be cool to have a little private island.
Yeah. I mean, Branson and people like that. I mean, they do other things. They say, I want to go to space, and I think those are most like vanity plays, like Bezos with his stuff.
Oh, he's going in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah. So those are vanity plays. I mean, if they do throw money towards like longevity and your own life preservation and preservation of others, that's cool. I could see that.
Yeah.
Altruistic reason to do it. It's a tragedy of the commons kind of story. But true.
Yeah. Got any questions from the chat, guys? You guys want to hear about, I don't know, anything at all, really? We're just, we're killing time. Have you guys ever heard of quantum grammar? No.
No.
Enlighten me, sir.
See, Coffee is, he watches Richard Hart for a couple of hours before you started the stream, right?
Yeah.
I think you need to be a little more snarky.
Yeah.
Like a little bit more like, fuck you. Like,
well, that's my
you know,
natural
like kind and nice and like, yeah, no, all right. On your Q&A.
Yeah, right. I know. I also gotta not get banned off YouTube and everything too. So
it's funny because
struggle.
I was careful of brand stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to talk to Richard and hope he doesn't throw an F-bomb in there or whatever. But then on stage in front of 700 people, Robert Kiyosaki's like, yeah, the Fed is like fucktards. And I was like, he said it like several times, like, yeah, they're fucking around. And I was like, damn, potty mouth Kiyosaki.
Yeah, he keeps it clean, but you know, off stage, he's just
a Marine.
Guy.
Still,
yeah.
I mean, you're always a Marine once you become one. Once you start one.
And so, you know, him and Richard probably have a lot more in common than they realize.
Yeah.
I visited such an island. There are pirate types likely connected with local authorities or local mafia. They'll come see you and you'll have to pay or leave.
Okay.
Oh. So
you just visited for a short time.
Is that what happened to you? I think there's a story there. You may have already covered it, but how was the conference? What was the biggest takeaway? Conference is great. Still technically going on. Biggest takeaway was really just a networking opportunity to try to get Hex and Pulse in front of, and Gary's got his own thing too. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but
well, I just want to build credibility with these people that don't know me, very super close, but these are influential people. Getting onto their podcast and getting into their audience, I think that's good. I think that the corporate donation opportunity for the Sins is a path to that. That story, whether it's Richard or some other advocate from the Hex community that says, "Hey, Richard on his stream had just said that he's gotten notice that he thinks that there's would be between $4 million plus probably go to Sins."
Right.
That's a great entrance for these guys I'm going to talk to tonight.
Right.
Crypto bros are donating to Sins
a lot of money
and getting a tax write-off and benefit of society, but also getting potential
tokens.
Tokens. Yeah.
It's free
priceless tokens because they have no price.
They don't exist yet. So that's probably the biggest takeaway, Guy. It is really opening the window of opportunity and really using, like, if I could, drive any point home for you guys out there, it's, really pay attention to this Sends donation address for the sacrifice phase and use that to leverage targeting higher net worth individuals who might have just otherwise wanted to donate to the cause anyway. Well, now they get something more out of it too. And you get all kinds of new people exposed to crypto. So biggest takeaway is that the overlap of different industries is super important. I mean, more people are on these personal finance channels than there are.
Don't read it out loud, but read this so it helps your narrative.
Okay. So yeah, there is a link on the website.
Don't read it out. This is him saying this.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So good stuff, dudes.
Yeah.
But make your contact to high net worth people.
Yeah.
Now, because collaboration with the Sins, validation by known people. These people knew who Aubrey de Grey was. They knew who the Sins was. They already are donating to 503Cs now. So it's not that it shouldn't be that hard of a sell if Aubrey is coming on to prove to Kiyosaki that it's a real thing.
Yeah, and luckily really cool. there is this wave of interest that I'm starting to realize, and that I don't think people really cared about 10 years ago, but it seems to be a more recent thing of rich people actually caring about longevity now. So, and I think, when the rich people are focused on something, they tend to throw a lot more money at it, obviously, and it really accelerates quickly. So I think that's pretty exciting, and I think you could use that overlap in your conversations with people. Thoughts on PulseChain sacrifice strategy? I'm probably going to play it simple for now. I'll let you guys know if my strategy changes. I'm probably just going to go all in with my allocation on day one, personally. Obviously, I don't know if that's the right or wrong thing to do. Maybe I'll even keep a little bit of, liquid hex and even sit out. Here's one thing. Here's one game theory kind of thing that people might not be thinking of, right? Let's say you don't even participate in the sacrifice chamber at all, and you just keep some liquid hex past all the 30 days, right? PulseChain then launches. You have this liquid hex copied over on PulseChain, and you can then sell that liquid P hex into the buying frenzy, which there might, this is assuming there is a buying frenzy for P hex. All of a sudden, you would now have this P hex to sell into the buying to get more pulse. So that could be one other alternative mechanism of maximizing the amount of pulse tokens you can get. If you're more bullish on pulse, I'm bullish on all three. So I'm probably going to try to, get an equal amount of each as much as I can. But I thought that was one thing interesting that I haven't really talked about yet. Gary's running with an A-level crowd. Yes, he is. How do you open up Hex Pulse? How open to Hex/Pulse do you think they may be? A lot of them are probably pretty open. The CD narrative, the digital CD narrative, it's so fitting within any of these traditional finance guys. And Hex is just perfectly positioned to be easy to understand, digestible. Again, it's as complicated or as simple as you want to make it. But I think they're going to be very receptive to Hex as the world's first blockchain CD. Pulse might be a little bit harder to understand. Like, it's a fork of Ethereum. We need to do it to lower fees and make transactions faster. That's pretty much the point of Pulse in 2 sentences. But I think they're going to be receptive to both. I mean, who wouldn't want to be interested in exposure to a new asset class, crypto, and just exposure to mad gains? Like, it doesn't seem like a tough sell. Like, everyone's open to making money. We all want to make money. So,
absolutely. Or keep it.
Gary, have you been yelling at coffee?
Nah. Dude, I've talked pretty much nonstop for 2 days.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But it's been worth it. It's good inroads for the Hex community, I think.
Absolutely. Could you roll Hex gains into real estate and optimize tax gains?
You're not gonna, like Richard says all the time, I don't think you're going to outperform crypto in any other asset class. So if you're rolling out gains, what does that mean? You saw the chart goes up, it goes down. You have falls and rises, but you rarely, in real estate, you get 7 to 10% on your money per year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That'd be a good year.
That's a great year. I mean, that's like, what your cap rates are and things like that. And that's assuming you don't have liability issues of lawsuits.
Yep.
You don't have liability issues of tenants for this past year because of the care package, didn't have to pay the rent for more than a year. So can you operate real estate and keep the power and keep it, habitable for your tenant base, even if they stop paying for a year?
Yeah.
Crypto don't care. Hex don't care. So when you say roll out your gains into real estate, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is learn the money game, learn the real estate game, learn whatever game it is you like in addition to your speculation in crypto.
Right. Gary, you do get around, and I'm a cool dude. Thanks, Laidback guys.
Oh, I'm not a cool dude. I think Matt gets around, and I'm the cool dude, so fuck you all guys.
We both get around, okay?
And we're both cool.
Are you bros gonna hit the town? No, we not enough gas left in the tank for me. We did that last night a little bit. And also I got a flight home later today. And Gary's got a bougie dinner to attend. So we're gonna be tame. Archie, exactly. Wick on 12 cents? No way. Really? You're gonna make me look now. Nope.
No.
What are you talking about?
Punk.
They do this on purpose.
They do this all the time.
I've never heard Gary laugh. Coffee, can you tickle him? No. Absolutely not. For what it's worth, thank you for the work you put in. Thank you, Guy, for just for watching and for being a part of the community. Downhill.
Wait a minute. So you in the audience participating, engaging, commenting, bringing ideas so that people like Matt can ruminate over it. And then when he's in front of someone that, networking, he can present those ideas. I mean, we digest them, we process them, we think about them for days. Yeah. You create a video because you've pre-thought out what your script is going to be, your mentality. And so you guys, when you say thank you, it is because of your work also, your participation in these streams, your support of people that are trying to do the good deed of broadcast what Hex is.
You all help craft the narrative. Like it's organic, grassroots, and we're all like this connected web. But yeah, I mean, when somebody calls me an idiot in the comments in YouTube, of course I'm going to rethink on, of course that guy's going to bother me all day. I'm going to have to really think, oh, did I really misspeak there? Did I, and so it actually helps me have to fine tune, my speaking, and it makes everybody better.
Yeah.
Downhill summer, present expectations of future reality. Okay. Monty says, I hate ETH, but I saw Hex, decided to invest $100 a year ago. What a great return so far. Wow. How much is that worth now, Monty? Just curious. Probably a lot. Probably multiple thousands.
Another comment I heard reiterated a few times. George made it on stage. Jason reiterated it. And these guys are, influencers, yes, but they built their business first. And then because they earned their chops or they worked to make their businesses, then people started saying, oh, what are you doing? Because I can tell you're successful now. Right. So what they said was, you guys have heard it before, you are the average of your 5 closest associations.
Yep.
Like if you associate with people that are inside your family clique and they always believe a certain way, you're going to tend to always, that's your 5 closest, and you're going to be that way.
Yeah.
But if you step outside of that environment and you say, I'm going to associate with new people, choose who you're associating with, choose the people that you're learning from.
Exactly.
Right? Are they selling you something and don't know you, selling a package on how to do something without having done something, right? Are they, Richard gives so much that he does not monetize on, right?
Yeah. I mean, Richard's almost, I've made him one of my top 5, whether he knows it or not. I'm just constantly like trying to associate myself with, different individuals that push me out of my comfort zone. Otherwise I would still be, and I've lived in one place the majority of my life, but exposing myself to new opportunities, meeting people like you, people like obviously Richard, and I've never met him, but I feel like I have, has just exposed my surface area of opportunity essentially, and really changed my life in the past 4 or 5 years. Once I started just going outside of my little bubble, my little Chicago bubble, and really just the YouTube channel, that was a new kind of red pill moment as well. But yeah, it's a good point. The thing I love about Hex is it's a win-win. You don't need to take money to help people get in. Getting them in helps pump your bag and then helps set the free. Yeah, exactly. I'm asking the above question because everyone speaks positive all the time, but I think it's important to look at all sides of the possibilities. 1 penny down on a 500,000 buy-in is a big down. What question? Oh, if I were to stake 500K for 6 months from now, and when the price of Hex is 1 penny down, would I receive the staked interest but lose a penny of my principal? Also, you do great. You never lose your principal Hex quantity of Hex, but the dollar value fluctuates all the time. Maybe I'm not understanding this question.
Yeah. Well, when people think of losing, sometimes they ignore the things that they lose, but they don't even think about. If you buy a house, you lose 6% on the close. When you sell the house, you lose another 6% selling it to another person.
Yeah.
So, it depends on your framework of what you say is lose. Mm-hmm. As far as the Hex contract, if you stake and complete the stake that you said you would, and you don't early end stake, then you cannot lose Hex.
Right. And just to be clear, the interest is only paid in more Hex. So the principal and the interest quantity is never it's never taken away from you. You're always getting Hex interest, but the price of that Hex, if it goes down a penny, you're going to lose USD value on paper, right? But if you're staked for longer periods of time, the interest not only offsets any price fluctuations by kind of giving you 30 to 40% padding, essentially. But the longer you hold, basically, the higher likelihood that you are to be in the black or in the green or whatever. Yeah. Shorter term swing trader kind of mentalities usually don't tend to do that well in Hex. So 6 months is a little bit of a shorter stake. Personally, I would like to go, if I was a new person starting today, I would personally, not financial advice, go at least a year down the line before I wanted any kind of rewards at all. and then maybe ladder from 1 year and after that.
Well, why don't you look, if you're brand new to crypto, I can understand a tiny bit of hesitation about time. I don't know this new industry. I don't know this new thing, because it's the whole thing of cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
However, why don't you take the same narrative and apply it to Bitcoin if you believe that's been good for you, or Ethereum if you believe that's been good to you? Do you say, I'm going to hold it for 6 months and trade in and out of position over 6 months? Because if you look at the chart, getting in and staying 2 years, I think it is, if you've stayed 3 years in either Bitcoin or Ethereum, you've never lost money.
Right. If you've actually held for longer than, I think 3 years sounds like a safe number.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you apply the same thing to a stake in Hex? Why wouldn't you say, it seems that, not seems, but provably on the charts, that if you hold for 3 years or longer, you haven't lost. Even a dollar relationship, appreciation.
It's a game of patience, and it's a game of delayed gratification. But still, I mean, even 3 years in the grand scheme of things, for the kind of gains that we're talking about, that's fast. To me, that's like, the kind of the relative blink of an eye. Because most people, they'll do traditional investments for 10, 20, decades, and they won't ever see the kind of gains that you can get in crypto, right? So it does feel like, where are my overnight gains in crypto sometimes? Where's all my millionaire success stories that I've been hearing about? And the truth is, it comes from the people that were patient, that just waited longer than a year. And the longer you can wait, the more higher probability that you'll probably be.
Well, look at the experiences in your life. How many years were you in elementary school? How many years were you in middle school? How many years were you in high school? How many years were you in college? How many years did you live in that house that you moved into before you moved to somewhere else? Look at the time scale of things that you already do in your life, and then ask yourself, how many things did I do only for 6 months? I just went to school for 6 months as a kindergartner, and I said, fuck this, I'm out. I want to take my gains and move on. Finger painting 101 is good enough. People don't, they try these comparisons. Like when they talk about safe and safer in medicine all the time. Like this is safer.
Right.
Okay? It's such an ambiguous term. Right?
Safer compared to what, right?
Well, I mean, driving down a 2-lane highway with paint in the middle makes it safer. Still a road, but people on that side know to stay on that side. People on this side know to stay on this side. It's safer now because it's got that, right? So it's the same sort of thing. Like I say that because of people. My friends say that they won't get in airplanes, or they won't get into some other thing that they perceive as risky. My mom hates to visit California. I think she's come one time in my lifetime.
Wow.
One time. That's because there might be an earthquake.
Seriously?
There might be. It's happened before. Why wouldn't it happen when she comes?
It's funny you say that, because my family is kind of the same way. Very risk averse. Very risk averse.
Well, wait a minute. Here's the caveat. I grew up in North Texas, where there's at least 3 or 4 tornadoes that I see on the horizon every year. So in my lifetime,
the Midwest is more dangerous than
hundreds of risk stuff. Why not California?
Anything can kill you out there. You step outside, you can get hit by a bus.
It's perception. That's what I'm getting at. Is that people don't look at actual statistics most of the time. They just say, feels like. It feels like.
Right. Yeah. I talked to some friends of mine from back home about Puerto Rico, and they're like, well, what about hurricanes? That was like, they're not like, why would you want to go there?
20 years.
Like, I don't know, man. I guess I'll figure that out when
people live in Miami, and they say, what about hurricanes?
Hey.
But I live in Miami.
Thank you, Toby. Great work as always, fellas. Something I feel needs to be said every time we explain Pulse is that it reduces fees and is faster and guards against huge gas cost increase when ETH goes bull again. It's a good point, Toby. I mean, people might think, hey, the gas came down a little bit on ETH. Everything's okay now. It's going to go back up. They're increasing the S load in phases every couple of months. I don't know exactly, but they're incrementally increasing the gas on Ethereum. And the higher the price of Ethereum, that scales gas with it, the cost of gas. So, it might be a little cheaper now. We might be paying, $10 or $20 for a swap as opposed to $60, $100, but even $10, $20 sucks. And, the fees will go up again on ETH because they are, some of the changes being made are not going to be gas friendly to the S load. Great point, Toby. And thank you for the donation, man. Newcomers should do a 3-year minimum. Okay, well, that's, I don't know. It's up to the individual. Let's see. Gary, how did you go about doing that? What were the first 5 people around you that made you some wealth? And then people you started that changed and leveraged you up more?
I didn't start out in life thinking about wealth or money that much. I was raised by a single mom, so I guess things were tight, but it wasn't like get out of the ghetto kind of motivation thing. I just lived a normal childhood.
Yep.
So my first group is like anybody, your high school friends and things like that, your influence. I really was overbearing as a personality. So I didn't want like the leader of a little group of 3 or 4 guys or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I always had a friend that was in each clique, like one person that was in each clique. I don't need to know all the jocks. I don't need to know all the geeks. I don't have to know all the potheads. Just one.
That makes sense.
Just one.
I can see that.
Yeah. So I was about that. And that was my first 5, was like one from each of these groups is my 5 associates, that kind of thing.
Right.
And then kind of the same mentalities bring people together as 17, 18, 19-year-olds into the military, especially the Marine Corps and the Navy. And so that was probably my next. And again, that's not about money. That's about you want to be part of something bigger than yourself, right? A band of brothers cohort kind of thing. So that was my attraction for that.
Yep.
And you get to play with $20 million tanks and stuff that any 18-year-old normal life wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah.
I want to blow shit up. Right? There's a school for that.
Right.
See all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that was my late teens and early 20s.
Gotcha.
And so I'm just saying that for me, my 5 every 4 or 5 years changes.
Yeah. And my 5 have changed also. Probably don't have as much life experience, but it went from high school friends, college friends, and now my crypto bros, obviously. And that's really unlocked, massive opportunity. Just meeting crypto people in real life too. We're not all bots. Hex, T-shares is the secret of Hex. Sandy says, never mind. I read that. Thanks for the info, y'all. My toes in the water stake ends in about 2 weeks. I think I'll stake all I have for a year. Cool, Media Bear. Hey, you're the. I saw you on Discord Syndicate, I believe. That was were you Dr. Clown or something? Yeah, nice, man. Good to see you in the chat. Let's see. Would Hex ever consider to do a bridge to BNB so that BNB maximizers could also?
I don't know if you heard the stream a few minutes ago from Richard. I don't know if the bridge to BNB is really that appetizing.
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe
he's working on bridges.
People can build anything they want to, right? It's just like Ethereum. You want to build a bridge, build a bridge.
Yeah, if someone wants to copy the ETH Pulse bridge code and do that for BNB, sure. I mean, get some of those degens into something more wholesome. Just kidding, guys.
Charger. Where's your charger cord? I'm gonna
charging cord.
Your thing's almost good.
Oh yeah, it's in my bag.
Is it the same as this kind?
Let's take a look. Nah, it's an older one.
Where's your bag?
Please hold.
Right here. Unplug it.
Technical difficulties.
And that's a huge charger. Holy crap.
It's an old one.
Sparks coming out of it as it launches.
All right, we're back. We're charging. We're back.
3%, 2%.
We're at an hour, so we can wrap up in a few minutes. Let's just finish.
I gotta go in like 5.
Yeah, I got you. We'll just wrap it up. Hey, Ryan Lopez, good to see you. You meet Richard Hart. What is your opening line? I don't know. I wonder if I would just be like in shock and awe, frozen. Probably just hi.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for.
I've been a fan for first time caller.
Long time listener, first time caller. Maybe yeah. Never mind.
It would be thankfulness, and not because of just the gains. I mean, thankfulness because I think the people that are really listening and reading between the lines of what's said and absorbing, you're better people. I think you're better people because the principles. Richard says this all the time. His books are better than him. You know, his content is often better than him. And so if you listen for those jewels and really absorb them, you don't have to just be thankful about the gains.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. He's added a lot to my life. So I'd probably just be like, thanks, Richard.
Hi.
Thanks. Thanks. Changed my life. Thanks.
You're like the Chad from the Saturday Night Live guys, or whatever his name is. Thanks.
Yeah. Hey. The Lettuce song? Is that what that song is called?
I don't know.
I am subscribed. No, that was not why we had a 30-minute intermission. 30 second. I think the new stakes need to be at least 2 years to hopefully give time for ETH 2.0 to address the fee issues. Of course, the Pulse copies are cheap to end forever. Yeah, 2 years sounds like a safe bet. You know, I could definitely see the price of Hex being higher than it is now in 2 years. Toblerone said, I anticipate a huge uptake in crypto tax accountants soon. Yeah, you know, the guy I was talking to, he's not really specialized in crypto, but he said, you know, he's kind of adapting as the market adapts too. So, or as the laws catch up and the IRS catches up. So right now, a lot of these things are just simply calculated based off of cost basis and just based off of all the traditional methods. I don't think even the concept of like staking and interest and how is that taxed, the IRS hasn't really made clear rules for that yet, as far as we know. So he's keeping it simple, this CPA guy, for now until more clarity comes out. We need some Hex accountants. I'm sure we have some accountants in the chat in the community. Non-crypto question for coffee. What is your favorite pickup line? Also, hi. You don't need a pickup line, man. Pickup lines are kind of cheesy in real life. Respect to both of you for putting the word out there. Thank you, Parlay. Monzi Games said you asked about my gains with 100 USD, but you missed the comment. Oh crap! Awesome. 2,400.
Really cool. $100 became 2,400.
Jeez,
not bad.
Not bad at all.
24x.
Wow. It's hard to know what to say. Just thanks to someone who has changed so many people's lives. Meeting RH for the first time, just burst into tears. Yeah, maybe. Probably not.
Hold it together, man. Hold it together.
I'd probably want someone to slap me at that point. Told Baruch saw an interesting video about a lawsuit where a couple took the IRS to court over getting taxed on interest. I think Tezos. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be a big point for them going forward. Anyway, guys, we are also at about an hour and 3 minutes. Thanks all 107 of you for tuning in. Gary, any last words?
Make sure that you, on everybody's Twitter, mine is Funding Jim. If you just go Funding Jim, Twitter, YouTube, like, subscribe, do those things because it gives credibility to people that get in front of people like the Rich Dad people. They said, you know, they get approached all the time, but if you do not have audience, you're not going to get on a podcast. If you do not have network, right, you're not going to get attention, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's not about the money that you have. It's about the network you have with these people. It's the network.
Yep.
So if you see a streamer, anybody talking about Hex, me, Coffee, Kinetics, Discourse, Hexologist, anybody, and you're not on their Twitter, you're not on their YouTube as a subscriber, you're not adding to those analytics and metrics, you're not getting Richard to 100,000 subscribers, you're fucking up, honestly.
Just press the button, guys.
Yeah.
Smash the like, smash the subscribe. Make us, give us the notoriety that we need to help pump your bags.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for coming, guys.
Good.
See you.